I didn't know I had to attend meetings to get votes in. I really didn't care about
No, I tried to get on one other time, and that was part of my problem. They got me.
Well, that's what they want, because they don't want somebody that sits at home and complaining or lies. So you just don't say about it. Sit at home complaining, and then show them the commissioners. You might know anything.
I'm like so dying cancer.
People flip this sucker around.
Welcome back.
Right.
Yeah.
That was the next one.
We'll call this meeting to order. This is a regular meeting of the City of Callaway Board of Commissioners. It is Tuesday, September 9th, 2025. It's 6 p.m. Y'all will stand with me. Commissioner Pelletier will do the invocation. Commissioner Cruz, please lead us in the pledge.
Lord, we thank you for allowing us to gather today, and we pray that you make decisions for our city and citizens, the right decision for our city. It's okay, I've got a quote on mine. We thank you for the first responders, and we ask you bless them. And in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
City Clerk, please do a roll call.
Commissioner Ray?
Here.
Commissioner Pelletier?
Here.
Commissioner Ayers?
Here, ma'am.
Mayor Henderson?
Here. Okay, we've got a few presentations tonight. First, we have Deputy Kit McKenzie with the Bay County Sheriff's Office Audit Statistics.
Good evening, good to see you. All right, we're going to go over the August stats. It says accidents 32, arrests 47, calls for service 1,174, citations 139, miles patrolled were 21,921, and our traffic stops were 253. When it comes to the traffic accidents, it looks like we had 9 reported traffic accidents that occurred in parking lots. And we had 27 non-parking lot crashes. I know the numbers on that comes to 36. So I'm not sure which one of those numbers is right, 32 or 36, but I would say 36 because they got them broken down. But one of them, they may have gotten some from the right outside of Callaway in these stats. But anyway, of the ones that were reported that were not in parking lot, they had anywhere from following too closely, careless driving, failed to yield right of way. They had some that there were some unknown contributors, failed to keep proper lane, pedestrian ran in front of a vehicle, that's always bad. Foot stuck on an accelerator, that's bad. Ran a red light, vehicle malfunction, and unsecured load. So we have a wide variety of things going on in Callaway, but I know y'all had asked for a little bit more data on the traffic accidents, so yes.
Is it an excuse to say my foot was stuck on the accelerator?
It must be because it was actually on the report. I'm not sure that's going to keep you from getting a ticket though.
That's why I ran the red light and I was
If I've ever, in the few times I've been pulled over in my lifetime, my foot was stuck on the accelerator too.
Do you know how many of those were Tyndall Parkway and Highway 22 area, or Highway 22?
7th Street.
Yes, sir. 4 of them occurred in the North Tyndall Parkway and 7th Street. 2 of them occurred on Tyndall Parkway and Highway 22, and 2 of them occurred at Cherry Street, Tyndall Parkway.
We're using those statistics at the Bay County.
Okay. You and the mayor go to that one. There's the breakdown that I gave you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
They were trying to use that to help push them towards widening 22.
Very good.
Any information we could get.
But we thank y'all for fighting to get us some better streets and safer streets over here. Thank you. Does anybody else have any questions?
Thank you for the report, thanks for what y'all do. Okay, our next presentation, and I don't believe that Mr. Joe Melvin is in the audience, is he? He is this year's Yard of the Month. That's this month's Yard of the Month. He is at 6818 Amoco, so if you drive by, look at his yard, it's lovely, it's beautiful. He actually was a winner. He was one of our very first winners when we started this program years and years ago, well before the hurricane. I think he was our second winner, and his yard looks just as good now as it did back then, so he maintained it well.
Prior to the hurricane,
Right.
he was a yard at one of lights of the
Yeah,
season.
yeah.
Then the hurricane kind of wiped out his inventory.
Okay, and then our last presentation is, we've got a proclamation, or a City of Callaway proclamation, that September 17th through 23rd is Constitution Week. I will be presenting our proclamation along with other cities and some of the other government offices that during the American Revolution has a meeting for Constitution Week, and all of the cities in the county and some other offices all present proclamations at that time. So I'll be presenting our proclamation as well. And do we have any additions or deletions to the agenda? So,
No.
no, okay. And we'll review the public participation. I see a couple of different faces in the audience that may not be aware of how our public participation works. We have 2 different times for public participation. You can speak on any of our agenda items, any or all of them. Once, when I call for public participation, if you want to speak, just raise your hand. When you're recognized, come up to the podium, state your name and address for the record if you choose, and then your 3 minutes will start. Then, like I said, you can speak on each one. At the end of the meeting, we have public participation for non-agenda items. If there's something that you want to bring up that we have not already talked about, same procedure. Just let me know you want to speak, come up, state your name and address if you so choose, and then you have 3 minutes for whatever your non-agenda item is. With that, we will go on to approval of the minutes. We've got the minutes of the August 26th, 2025 regular meeting and the September 4th, 2025 budget hearing, first budget hearing. Did anybody have any changes, comments on the minutes?
I did correct on the regular minutes under the unrestricted road motion where Commissioner Davis had made the motion. It just said Davis, as Commissioner. The same thing happened on the budget hearing minutes where Commissioner Griggs made the motion on the resolution 2517, but those are both in text.
Anything else on the minutes? If not, I would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve minutes with stated corrections.
Second.
The vote set.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. We will go on to, we have no public hearing items tonight, so we will go on to the regular agenda. Item number 1, ordinance number 1130, rezoning of Wallace Road and Common Avenue. City Attorney.
This is first reading of ordinance number 1130, an ordinance rezoning from residential R9 to residential R6, a certain parcel of land lying within the city of Callaway, Florida, consisting of approximately 0.482 more or less acres. Said parcel is located at Wallace Road and Common Avenue, Callaway, Florida. Said parcel ID 07261000010. All is more particularly described in the body of the ordinance, repealing all ordinances of parts and ordinances in common herewith, and providing that this ordinance shall take effect immediately upon passage.
So manager.
Mr. Fry?
This one is about as simple as it gets. Mr. Joshua Hoy, who is here tonight present, has requested that the density be reduced from R9, which is a 9,000 square foot lot, to R6, which would only be a 6,000 square foot lot, which is not the most dense we have. It's in line, the lots next to it are all zoned R6, so he would be able to build 3 houses instead of 2. These would be houses, not mobile homes, not multifamily.
Somebody have any questions for Mr. Fry? Go ahead.
One question I have, because we've done a lot of work in the city on our sidewalks. Now, of course, we have a sidewalk now in front of these properties. Yes. They're responsible for bringing those sidewalks back to what they should be.
Right, in the event they damage them during the construction of that home?
They should, I mean.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Because we expect that to happen when you're driving over a sidewalk.
Certainly.
They will be responsible for it, bring it back.
Yes, sir.
Anybody else have any questions? No? Did anybody in the audience want to comment on this item? Not seeing anybody? Would someone like to make a motion?
Motion to approve ordinance number 1130, rezoning of Wallace Road and Comet Avenue, parcel ID 07261-000-010, first reading.
Second.
Okay, you've got a motion and a second. If there's no discussion, city clerk?
Commissioner Briggs,
Yes.
Commissioner Pelletier,
Yes.
Commissioner Ayers,
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Henderson.
Yes. Okay, we go on to item number 2, resolution number 2520, state funded grant agreement.
Okay, this is resolution number 25-20, a resolution of the city of Callaway, Florida, approving a state-funded grant agreement with the Florida Department of Transportation for road improvements, authorizing the city manager to execute the agreement and providing an effective date.
City manager.
This is the 2025 state appropriations grant. It's $250,000. We will match funds of $250,000. FDOT will require acceptance of the agreement by resolution as attached with authorize, which will authorize us to go into the agreement. And then the grant funds will be used for, currently the scope is going to be South Gay from Cherry Street. We're going to run a phased on this, which means we're going to run it to Hickory. And then we'll have option 1, which will take it to Rebecca, and option 2 will take it to Lake. We're probably going to ask for a scope amendment because as part of the grant, we've requested $500,000 and we were going to match $500,000 and we were going to do Beulah and South Bay. Since they only gave us $250,000, we're going to do a scope amendment because that's only going to be enough to do South Gay. That being said, we do have the money in the budget to do Beulah, because we were under the impression they were going to make us match $500,000. We didn't have any fit, so we put another $250,000 with it. We're going to try to separate the 2 projects out, but we'll bid them together. So it'll be considered one project, but we're going to keep them. It's one overall project. It's actually 2 projects because the state grant side of it is way more intense. The CEI for a state grant is almost double what it is normally, so we'll separate the 2 out. And I'll be bringing you a task order at the next meeting for the engineering side of that, which will be for South Gay and also for Beulah. The things that we really need to talk about a little bit on Beulah is right now, there are 4-foot skirts on both sides, which are bike paths. When you do a bike path, they are one way only. So on the right side of the street, if you're going that way, the bike path points that way. And the same on the other side. I'll just give you my personal opinion is we pull the skirts up and the road will be 22 foot across. That'll be 11 foot lanes instead of the current 10 foot lanes that are on there now. And then we can come back and try to get a lab agreement and we'll work on connectivity and do a sidewalk on one side later down the road because the bike paths are just, they're tore up anyway. And if we want to put the bike path back the way they are, we can, but it is going to cost us quite a bit to put a bike path that the district cannot use. So that's up to this commission to make a decision on how they want to do it. We'll have the task order at the next meeting. But I mean, it really rolls down to, do we want to put the bike paths back? If the bike paths on, I don't know if we're gonna have enough room to fit the sidewalk. If we future plan for that, then we're gonna need to shift that road. Most likely it would shift to the east because we want to go to the park. So we would want the sidewalks on the west side. If we shift the road over, it's gonna cost us more base, because we'll have to build the base on the far side. So if we remove the skirting, the base is still gonna be there, just instead of having a 4-foot skirt on both sides, there'll be a 1-foot skirt, which is common for a regular city street, and then we can come back and look at putting sidewalks on in our next request for that funds. That'd be a good thing to do for that. So I'm actually looking for direction from y'all on that, so we can get this task order matched up.
I like the 22-foot width of the highway and then go after on that grant for the site.
Also, another issue that I will bring to point here is, and this is very much a proven fact, the wider your road is, the faster your traffic goes. And we do have a speeding problem on Buell. And I will tell you, without a doubt in my mind, it's because that road is so wide, people will just speed down. And so by shortening that up a little bit, the only thing that concerns me is that we do have boat traffic going down that way.
Yeah.
But I think the 22-foot will give us enough. It'll be a standard road. We can spread the apron out when it hits Cherry Street to take the curves.
Yeah, I think it's more cost effective to go with a winding road and then go for a lap grant for the sidewalks.
Anybody else?
Dollar, we don't have a dollar amount on Buell.
It's gonna be somewhere around $500,000. Cause it's a half a mile. So we're looking at about $500,000. I will say that the cost of asphalt is coming down significantly. It used to be about $212 a ton. It's down to like $186 now. So that's going to vote in our favor. And if we separate these two out, also the CEI on the Buell is going to be significantly reduced. So we can cover costs on that.
The last project on that sidewalk is gonna be 3 or 4 years out, because we're already 2 years out on some of the laps already.
That is true, yes.
So it ain't
It
gonna
will
happen
be,
anytime
it'll
soon.
be 2 years we go into design, 2 years we go into construction.
So, assuming we get funding for it.
Don't make me go challenge.
Yeah. We usually do pretty good on the county. Commissioner Briggs, did you have anything you wanted to say?
On that too.
Did anybody in the audience want to comment on
Though I didn't at you once, I'm sorry.
state funded grant agreement? Don't see anybody.
Is everybody okay with removing the aprons?
Yeah.
Okay, 'cause that's gonna be the task order that I bring back. I hate to try to prepare multiple task orders, but it's gonna be significantly more expensive. We won't be able to do it 500,000 if we put something on those sides.
I think it's on the motion, make a motion on this one.
Motion to approve resolution number 2520, state funded grant agreement.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? If not, vote.
Commissioner Pelletier,
Yes.
Commissioner Ayers,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Griggs,
Yes.
Mayor Henderson.
Yes. Okay, we will go on to agenda item number 3, Brittany Woods land purchase, city manager.
Hot dog, we got an agreement. I know we've talked about this for quite a while. There's, it's almost, I think it's 12.8 acres. This is the large pond that's right next to Brittany Woods, between that and Walmart. We had the property surveyed because there was a lot of anomalies that were on it that had to do with, and I sent y'all that survey at the end of the last meeting. And the only thing that was, we talked about, was about putting a pole barn over there in that area for people to be able to be outside and do the fishing and everything. So we got 3 quotes on that. The cheapest was $15,000. We had $25,000 budgeted for the whole entire project. And after the survey and everything that came out, less the pole barn, the remaining money was $800. Me and Tim met with Mr. Bird. Yeah. Don't know why I can't remember. And Mr. Bird, he thought about it for a couple of days, and he came back and he said it sounds good. He's good with that. We did not get an appraisal on it. I think the property appraiser had it at about $1,500 or something like that. So
it's all wetlands and ponds. So it was basically tax exempt, but it was, the value was like $1,600.
The back part is encumbered as conservation. We all knew this. It's zone conservation. And it is encumbered through DEP.
Yeah, it's a conservation deed they gave to DEP for, you can kind of see it, it's marked on that survey, all that. I guess that's the.
Yeah, that very back part.
Snatched off.
And that had to do with an agreement with Walmart that was done before it was brought in. We don't have any future plans to do anything back there. It's wetlands. We would have to go into mitigation. We're not doing that. That would cost way too much. If anything, we'll look at maybe some nature trails back through there. We do have enough room that we will at this fall when the foliage starts coming back. We'll go through and we'll go all the way around that pond, and then we're going to cut a 30-foot easement straight down that ditch, which is all part of that thing. And that way, it's going to help us out. We have problems keeping that ditch clean right now. We got beavers in there and they're constantly moving. We're trying to get back there to tear these things out. So we'll be able to have access to be able to keep that ditch clean. And we'll start working on that pond, and we'll have it cleaned out. It's full of fish. It's going to be a great little fishing spot and a nice addition to that park over there. I'll answer any questions.
We already started working on that.
We got some dirt over there that we had left over. We dumped it there and spread it out because there was a lot of holes in that area.
I thought I saw, I thought they were scraping that, whatever you call it, the equipment over there.
We took the excavator over.
Okay.
We wanted to see what the bottom was.
Okay.
We didn't know what was in. I wasn't going to go traipsing out the thing. I didn't have head boots on. So we did check the bottom. We wanted to see what was at the bottom of the pond. It is hard pan. He drove that thing down, and when it hit, the whole entire thing just rattled and rang. So it's not going anywhere, and it's not basically the tussets that are in it is all. And we'll be able to spray and remove those very easily. And then when we go around the outside, of course, we'll take off the debris and stuff that's in it. We'll be able to get that out, and it'll end up being another nice amenity for the citizens.
So really, at the beginning, we're just gonna have a pole barn there for fishing. And long range is to have a walking trip.
We'll have a walking track all the way around it. Yeah, there'll be a walk.
Is there gonna be space to do that?
Yes.
The way to describe it, now the walking track is just gonna be around the pond, it's not gonna be back in the woods.
No, we're not doing that.
No.
No, once you get back, it drops off and it gets wet.
And there's a lot of debris in there, and once we take ownership to it, we will be getting the debris out.
Yeah, by the ponds, you can kind of do anything. It's that conservation area. That's to the
That
north.
conservation
You
easement in the
can do
back.
stuff, you gotta get DEP's approval to do something.
We will not go into that conservation area to remove debris.
We can do anything.
Okay.
But we have a
Let's
pond.
talk about the pond
The
itself.
pond, yes, we will be able to clear it all the way around. It'll be a nice ample area to be able to walk around and not have to worry about snakes or whatever, other than the ones that are sunning.
Now, as far as the budget, this was an item that was actually, it shows up on our current budget, but it's current. Not the future budget that we're looking at starting in October. So we'll actually buy this property before October.
And the pole barns are going.
Before
I just need.
by the end of the month.
I just need to we're ready to pull the trigger.
Okay. I knew that's where the dollars were coming from.
Yeah.
So,
Anybody else?
Felt like we pushed it to the very end, but we got it done.
12 acres for $800, pretty good.
Not bad.
Did anybody in the audience want to comment?
I mean, we could develop it if we want to fill that pond in.
Karen Lester, 216 Lanny Road Drive. I just had some questions. Do you have an estimate of what the rest of the cost will be to buy this land? Because we show the purchase price as $800, but the closing cost could easily be up to $2,000. And so I just wondered if you've gotten an estimate from your closing company of how much cash you actually need to take to closing, because it's not $800.
Kevin's my closer.
Yeah, I mean, there's no tax proration because it's tax exempt right now. And we talked about doing title insurance. Obviously, title insurance is based on the purchase price. So you wouldn't even get title insurance for $800. It's basically all ponds and conservation area. So we're just gonna take it as is. There's not gonna be, just preparing the deed. And
Just being filed with the deed.
yeah, just preparing the deed.
So who's gonna pay the taxes on the deed, the recording?
There's no taxes right now. Well, I mean, to do a deed for $800, let's see, so for $10, it's 70 cents.
Yeah.
I did the math, so 70 cents times 8.
Yeah.
It's 45, it'd be about $45. And Amy's gonna pay that.
Okay, so you're not gonna do a title search and make sure?
We did a title search. So it's not gonna get title insurance on it. You get it for your purchase price, so there's no point having a policy for $800. I mean, they can go buy more, but they know, we've done a title search, we know most of it is conservation easement and the rest are ponds, it's all wetlands, it's tax exempt. So it'll be probably about $45 of doc stamps to record the deed.
Okay, and as long as everybody's willing to accept the risk that if there's somebody out there that comes forward and says, I have a claim on this title, you realize they can take the land and the improvements.
We've done a title search, and like I said, if you got title insurance, your limit would be the $800, so we just get our $800 back, so we just, if you guys want to do an $800 title policy, we can.
No, I don't think it's right.
Okay.
The title search has been done on it.
Right.
I'm happy with it.
It's been in Mr. Bird's family for,
Yeah.
Kim, do you remember how long that was? 50s?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you.
Anybody else? Yes, ma'am?
Yeah, volunteer. I was just wondering how much was in the budget. You said it was in this year's budget already. And I'm just wondering what that number was.
25.
25.
Anybody else? See anybody? Would like to make a motion on the land purchase?
Motion to approve Brittany Woods land purchase.
Second. 2 seconds.
Well, we got one first and 2 seconds, that makes sense. Okay, we do have a first and second, so if there's no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? Motion passes. We will go on to item number 4, task order structural ESDC 5 lift station CDBG deal. City manager.
All right, this is an ESDC task order for structural services during construction for the first 5 lift stations that are currently under bid. That's already been bid out for the construction with Mainline. Mainline is waiting for the structural subs to perform submittals due to the grant requirements, so this will need to be approved before they can proceed. This is something that's part of the grant. It should have been included in the original task order. We're going to make sure that all future task orders, this is some sort of new requirement where they're once again, they're putting a third set of eyes on a project. They just keep running us under the ground on these, but I mean, it is 100% grant funded, so we'll use the grant funds to pay for this, and because whatever money's left over that will then go towards construction, I think we're under budget a little bit on that, so we should be fine on that. But unfortunately, this is a requirement, and we need to get this done. I will also let y'all know that, and I'll just save that for my comments on other things. I'll save that.
Okay, anybody have any questions for city manager about this one? Pretty straightforward. Did anybody in the audience want to comment on this one? Seeing anybody, would someone like to make a motion?
Motion to approve task order structural ESDC 5 lift stations, CDVG-DR.
Second.
We've got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. And we're up to our commission and staff comments. I'll be very brief. The main thing that I did these past 2 weeks was we had a TPO meeting. Mr. Haynes knows he was there. Good to see our citizens show up. It really was just some housekeeping issues, not anything that small picture impacts Callaway, but big picture, all the things that we approved to affect Callaway. And it gave Commissioner Griggs and I another opportunity to kind of pound on FDOT about funding for Highway 22. So we'll go ahead, Commissioner Griggs, we'll start with you tonight.
A question was raised by a citizen concerning the Brittany Woods purchase, and then Commissioner Pelletier brought up that they had actually gone over there and dumped dirt and done this and done that. We haven't bought the property yet, so that's one of the reasons for my question. Are we jumping the gun in some of these cases? We're getting some. We know where we're going with it. We have, plenty of prior information, et cetera, et cetera. We know what we're going to be potentially doing. But if we're jumping the gun, that's not necessarily the side that our attorneys, I think, would like for us to have.
Can I answer that?
Okay.
Jack doing right, I jumped the gun. I had a big old load of dirt, and we had a lot of holes out there, and we have to get this done before October 31st.
No.
To keep it in this year's budget. I mean, you don't go past October 1st. You don't go into the next month and not be complete and then try to backfill it. It will go in 6 years. I don't have the funding there. We needed a load of dirt brought in there, and we had a load of dirt in the truck, and we dropped it and spread it out.
So the current owner was okay with us dumping dirt
he was fine
on his property?
Yes, he was aware.
Now, we're also been maintaining that pond as a stormwater, haven't we?
Yes.
Okay, so we had a right to be on that.
That is correct.
Okay. I think we just need to be a little careful of jumping ahead. I know why, but
fortunately, the dirt that we put on there was donated dirt. So it wasn't, we had some in the truck, and we said, hey, go ahead and dump it out there.
Right.
We went out there and they spread it out so that we could see how the layout was, because after tonight's meeting, we will pull the trigger on everything tomorrow. And that's going to be getting the pole barn up before the end of the month.
Well, another thing on that.
That's fine first. We do the deed first, then the pole barn.
So we have to pull the trigger and keep going.
On that particular property.
They're not going to go out there and start construction. Right. They'll be.
Materials.
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't have an objection to doing it, where what the master plan was, but.
I'll follow the sword.
Yep. Well, there's no sword. For $800, there's no sword. But what we're gonna be doing with it, we'll be making a park. And actually, we're almost be somewhat converting the swamp to a fishing hole. This comes back to Kevin, he thought it would be clear tonight. Comes back to Kevin, what is our responsibility toward the gators, the snakes, the snapping turtles,
Put a sign up.
Supper.
Pardon?
Supper.
Put a sign up. No swimming. Beware of snakes and alligators. That's all you can do.
And beavers.
But that's, that's kind of been a question over the years where we've actually on some of our ponds in the city taken down the fences. And we take down the fences because we can maintain the surrounding area of those ponds much easier. Is there a liability in there?
I mean, if you kind of like a sidewalk, if you know it's cracked, you don't fix it, then you got liability. But if you don't know there's anything there, there's no liability. If you do, and there's dangerous wildlife, and Tim can put a couple signs up there and say, don't be the water and swim and that. So, but it's all about what you know or should have known.
Yeah. So put a sign up, don't chase the alligators or the snakes.
No swimming, that's strictly crap.
You ain't seen no gators over there, do you?
There was one there several years back.
That was several years, I'm talking about now, so you scared me.
No, there's nothing there.
Did they clear out that gator? I'll listen to the reports on that.
Okay, Commissioner Pelletier?
City clerk, YouTube, how did we get restricted on YouTube when we never used it?
That's what we're appealing and trying to figure out. The only thing that they gave us
We didn't
was,
activate it.
no, we did one test run with it. That was all that we did, and when Jay went to do the planning board meeting, it came up and told us that's when we found out that it said it was banned. So between me and IT, we have been back and forth with YouTube. We haven't got much response out of them. So it is still something that we're working on trying to figure. They claimed that we had too many users, but it's one login. It's one email per login, so we don't understand how that makes any sense. But we are still working on that, trying to figure out what we either have to do to get that one back or create an entire new one.
All right, thank you.
And just so everybody knows, IT and Ashley, they came out here, they downloaded all new software, reconfigured everything, so the video should actually be of better quality, correct?
Yes.
And the sound should all be streaming much better now, even on our old stuff. And this is actually compatible with YouTube, so we'll be able to live stream on YouTube. We just ran into an issue and that we created an email account. IT does all that. They created everything. They went in and set everything up. So we're not sure where the disconnect is. We'll keep working on it. We'll get there. We thought we were seamlessly, literally one day we thought we went from nothing to something.
That's all I have for now.
Is that it, Commissioner Ayers?
Yes, ma'am. Had several citizen complaints and went through those with the city manager, passed them on, and he looked those over and passed those to code enforcement. Met with the city manager a couple times. We looked over the new property out there at Brittany Woods. It's going to be beautiful, and I think it's going to be a great benefit to our citizens, and I think they're really going to enjoy it. The dirt spread out there, it's nice and even, it looks really good, and the pole barn on top of that's going to be super. So I attended the St. Andrews, St. Joe Bay Estuary Committee meeting, and we had just general discussions about opening the pass and things like that, and its support for that. I attended First Friday, and while I was there, I met with Gulf Coast State College and talked to them about starting a new scholarship for their students over there and try to focus on Callaway with that. So that's all I have.
City Clerk, do you have anything tonight? No. Okay, city attorney, do you have anything?
I spoke to Melba Kobe twice this week, and she first of all wondered why I was still coming to commission meetings, and second wanted to say hello to everybody. She's still loving Alabama, going strong. So
Okay.
hello from Melba.
She wanted to know why you're still living.
She was shocked that I was still coming to commission meetings. And I was like,
I mean, I don't guess we need an attorney. We can save that retainer.
Yeah,
We can save that retainer and he could just be on.
well, just means anyway, she's still doing good. So hello.
Let's go ahead and talk about the great thing, Cherry Street. Okay. FBL completed all their SUDATA and they're getting their schedule to get in and fix it. Their issues are not gonna be at our start point, so they're not really under the gun to really hurry up anything. They're about halfway down. So they're gonna have to move some of their lines. And these are the ones that they decided to put in without looking at the plans when they did underground. So they're gonna be moving that. Tico has submitted everything. Everything's been put into the plans. They had one of my questions that came through on Friday. We have a meeting tomorrow morning, and they're supposed to be giving us their start schedule. So I'm hoping tomorrow we'll be able to send out a schedule. I generally try to send you out everything that's going on after we get the minutes from the meeting. So hopefully we're getting ready to see some serious movement. Of course, that's going to be pending them start talking about having to acquire materials and stuff like that. But they're supposed to be supplying us with the schedule. The roundabout, the new fiber has been installed. And after talking with AT&T, they are having to coordinate with about 3 or 4 other companies that are piggybacked off of them because they're going to have to do a splice. And I'm waiting on Steve, and tomorrow he's going to be on that call for the Cherry Street, and I'll ask him, and they'll let us know when they're going to do the splice. And then once they do that splice, then we'll be able to go through and rip up their old line. It's still in use, even though they have a new one that's been installed. We have an issue with one of our lift stations, the one in South Kimbrell. This is part of one of the 15 that we've already engineered that we started many, many years ago, right after Michael, as one of the grants. And so what has come up is FEMA put out their new maps, and on that particular station, the flood stage has been moved up a foot. So we're sitting in a position now where we have a designed lift station that is below floodplain, per the new maps. We have the option to leave it and just build it the way it is, or if we so choose, we can go ahead and have a redesign done on this one, which we'll have to raise. Basically, we're going to raise the wet well up. I think it's a couple foot in the bill.
Like almost 4.
Yeah. It's going to raise it really, really high. When we do that, we have to raise the electrical panels real high. When we do that, that means we now have to add a platform because we won't be able to get up to it. So the re-engineer of that station is going to be $7,475. I wanted to bring it to this commission, and we'll have I don't have a task force currently. I will have one at the next meeting, but it staffs. We need to go ahead and match the FEMA floodplain. And
You said there's 2, and you mentioned Kimbrell. Where's the other one?
it's only one. I double checked. It's only that.
It's only one.
It's only one. That was my mistake. I thought it was 2. I went back and reread the notes. It's just that one's, technically, people will argue, well, it's never flooded before, currently. And it's true. I don't think, have you ever seen the water go over it? It hadn't. But y'all know as well as I do, when FEMA came out with their new flood maps, there was a lot of people that were affected because they said, oh, you're now in the flood zone. I think Commissioner Pelletier, half your house went into a flood zone, and that's ridiculous. He's 30 foot up over everything. But it has really affected a lot of people. And I don't think we can get a loan for a lift station. Or we would be trying to do that.
Get a what?
A loan,
Map revision.
a map revision. We did it, and everybody over there did it. So we're just kind of sitting in a position where we feel like we need to go ahead if we're gonna do it. We're going to rehab the station. It's in our top ones to rehab, and we just feel like, if FEMA's gonna put it out there, they're gonna set the flood zone, we need to go ahead and make sure that when we build above it. Bill, anything you wanna add?
No, just
Okay.
gotta be raised up.
Gotta be raised.
These impact fees. Can't these impact fees, because it's just a rehab.
It's a legislative rehab, isn't
We will look at the CDBG funds, and if we have any left overs, they'll be the ones to pay for it.
Okay, good.
it? Okay.
Okay.
And you said it's 4,000?
No, it's gonna be 7,475. Which is pretty good because that's gonna be a huge overhaul putting that thing up to full foot.
Okay, Blair.
We had a staff meeting today to cover the hurricane prep manual that was distributed. We had lots of comments. The assistant chief is working to get those revisions out. And then, once we get those in, I'll send all of y'all a copy of it, just for the fun of it. It's not anything that we have to adopt. It's just gonna be our internal manual, but we will try to be able to see it so that you'll understand what we're doing. Whenever we start running to levels of activation, staff is now working on their certifications that are gonna be required. And the mayor was there, to be a part of it, so just wanted to kind of give you a quick update on where we are with that. We will start after this, we will then start the response, disaster response. And, which fortunately all of our staff is part of Michael, so they already understand response really, really well. Trial by fire, so, and that's part of this is, their knowledge of what happened during that storm was very instrumental in how we were able to prepare this manual. Other than that, did I miss anything?
Did you want to talk about Beacon? A quick rundown of Beacon.
They submitted, the demo permit today. There are 2 of the units in there that have asbestos in it. The demo permit's not gonna touch those. They won't go in and do any demo work on those until that asbestos is removed. That end unit, where the ceiling fell off the front, when I talked to him the other day, what they were looking at, and we've also met Reliance South out there to go over the utilities. All those are private utilities. It's owned by them. It's not city, it's everything internal on the property belongs to them. But they're gonna take down half of that brick wall and just add the facade, so that particular area is gonna be dropped back. And they're gonna make each one of those, it's not gonna be a big box, it's gonna be individual units all the way down. So I don't know if it's 4 or 5 units in there. Bill unfortunately wasn't in on all that, but that's what they're getting ready to do, and they're planning on starting next week pending approval of the demo permit. So we're pushing forward with them, working with them on their utilities, making sure they have everything that they need, and we are going to continue to assist them in they're really seriously trying to hustle. The demo's not gonna be demo the whole building, understand that, they're not demoing the whole building. The demo's gonna be, they're demoing the facade, they're gonna be taking the roof out, they're gonna take all the AC units out, all that stuff will be replaced. It's just an overall demolition so they can come back and then rebuild right on top of that shell. The out parcel is not, they are not doing anything with the out parcel right now. After talking with him, he said there actually is a potential buyer for that, and they will buy and build on that spot. Yes, sir.
2 questions. When you say in unit, you're talking about where the old food world or the old Goodwill?
Mhm.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's that end unit down there.
And 2 is,
So it's gonna sink back, you know how right now it's sent back in because the part of the roof fell in? they're gonna keep that as the front facade, so those will actually be smaller units.
Okay.
That'll go back.
And did we ever receive payment on,
We have not. I sent a request out today to Patrick this morning. They had some questions that, on how the documentation, what it was identified. I've answered all their questions. I covered everything with Kevin and everything. I submitted it to them last week and said, this is the final invoice. It's, this is the way it's gonna be. I've answered all the questions. And he said, understood, received, and will be taken care of.
what was the total fine?
189, I think, something like that.
189,000.
Yes, somewhere up in there.
The
180 something.
final payment on what you got cut off when you said
The
final payment
what
on.
we had paid, what we wanted to
We paid
reimburse,
out.
we wanted to
What we
reimburse,
paid out, they have to
want
pay.
invoices, statement receipts.
Yeah, and they have not, they're not argumentative or fighting, they had questions, they just want to make sure that they have everything, we went back and forth. A lot of phone calls.
And last question I have is, when are you gonna bring the change order on Cherry Street to us?
That's probably I would probably say whenever they start.
Should we not see that before they start?
I can request that.
Yeah. Well, you're the one doing the change order, not them.
Well, they'll be the one requesting. They have to justify it.
Right.
Their change order is going to be for materials only.
Right.
Nothing else should change. I mean, that was our total agreement. And I had to talk to Hunter, and they're still good. They're ready to go. We're just waiting to get Tico out of the way on Star, and then we'll start it. But I can do that.
I just don't wanna see it a year after we start Cherry, like we did the bridge. You know what I'm saying, is that we already know there's a change order. We know what the price was a year and a half ago. Obviously, that's probably gonna go up. And I just want.
It's actually coming
It may
down.
come down.
Down.
It's asphalt.
Mm-hmm.
What we
Yeah,
were
we may be in a
looking,
better
at
situation.
3 or 4 years ago as a potential change, that's greatly reduced now.
Right.
We'll get a complete reevaluation of that.
All right, thanks.
And I'll make sure, I'll get you, as soon as we get a good confirmed date, we see people show up, then we'll fire up the rear end of it and get the change order in. Oh, I forgot about what's under my computer. So there was some questions that was brought up. This is all internal with staff, just so everybody knows. We're getting ready to have to order more city seals for the trucks. And it came up that the current seal has Tomcats on it, which is a Navy plane. And so just as a courtesy to discuss this with y'all, in an effort of supporting the base, we offered y'all a rendering of changing those Tomcats out to the F-35s, the new F-35s. And I believe there's, for you, if any of y'all that have any, there's some pictures over on the side there. We're not talking about major changes to the city seal, it's just those three. I don't have one. We're just talking about. Yeah, those three. Changing those 3 airplanes out, and if anybody that really wants to see it, up here, there should be some renderings. And what you'll do is, if you'll go to this page right here, you'll see that's the old one, and that's the new one. Kevin did some research. We can't figure out anywhere where the current city seal's ever been adopted. But if we do want to change it, we would adopt it and accept it by
It is ordinance, so you're protected from people copyrighting you.
Yeah.
You get some statutory protections, we do. Sometimes it's in people's charters, it's not in our charter. There may be an old ordinance back there from the 60s or something like that, but if we want to change that, we're just going to get that rendering and adopt the elements.
So this is all coming internal from staff. This isn't anything. We just wanted to bring it up that I was a little surprised they were Tomcats.
Yeah, me too.
You know, we never really thought about it. Actually, the newer drawing's a little bit cleaner, and you can really see the outlines of the plane. So we just wanted to bring that up for discussion with y'all. If that's something y'all are interested in.
I say we change it. I mean, we support all the bases, but I mean,
The only other option we considered was 3 planes.
3 different areas.
Like What's the rank?
F-18 for the Navy.
But you know, the Navy has an F-35. They fly an F-35. Because there's an A, B, and a C, and one of them's Navy, and one of them's X, so the Navy does an F-35.
So, I mean, I just, you know, it just came up as a point of discussion, and I wanted to bring this up to y'all and get some feedback. It doesn't hurt us anyway, we're gonna have to order new decals, we just wanna know which way we wanna go. We're not gonna be replacing every seal everywhere, it'll just be from this point over, because it's such a minor change.
So it's just a normal cost.
Yeah, we're not gonna change anything out.
I say the F-35, that's the new Tyndall, the F-35, so, you know, let it be our new seal of the F-35.
How old is the old? Do we know?
Don't even know.
Don't even know, okay.
Oh.
I don't know.
Do you need a vote or just a direction?
If we change it, we'll do it by ordinance, that way.
Okay, so the
I
regulations
just need to
to
get
this
that,
meeting.
yeah, just gives it that rendering.
I mean, is everybody okay with? So, you wanna
We're back with
order
your
the
reading,
next
so.
meeting?
Now, to answer your question, the F-14s were no longer produced, and actually all our, and everything was scrapped in 2005. So it hadn't been out there. And very honestly, right now, the only F-14s that are running in the world is run by Iran. So, as far as I know, nobody in the United States is producing any parts for them.
Yeah, F-18 is kind of their staple at the moment, and the F-35s are gonna be their all superiority pilot.
Well, as far as Tyndall, I mean, we've gone through the 15s, the 22s, the 35s.
60s, they're still flying the 60s.
Put them in over.
Train, that's the train.
That's the target.
Yeah.
Very honestly, I think that, most of us recognize the jet. Some of us are old enough to remember props. But we recognize a jet, and I would say that 99% of us don't know one jet from another. It's, this would kind of clean it up. That's one of the reasons I'm, it will clean up and maybe we can talk about it, because I'm just as supportive of, and we are, the city just as supportive of the Navy,
Like I said, the
Air
Navy
Force,
flies-
Marines,
Also,
Navy
these
flies
not
an
Harriers.
F-35 too, so.
Well, let's take that boat out and put a camera on it.
Yeah.
Did you do that?
well, Commissioner Bohack was analyzing the sail on that size boat, and that spinnaker is much too large for that boat. So we can all go after
And I don't think we have, well, I think it's the only cliff we got, probably over at the pink house, there's a cliff that goes off. So we might do it.
It is a cliff.
It is a cliff.
Anything else anybody needs to bring up?
Could always just say that there's a sub under there.
That's right, that's right.
That's all I got.
Okay, then we'll read the announcements. We have, does it look like there will be a planning board meeting on Tuesday? No, there will not. Okay, so no planning board meeting next week, but next week on the 18th at 5:01, we do have our final budget hearing. September the 18th is also the Historical Society meeting at 5:30, so some of us may be a little bit late for Historical Society, but we get there when we can. And then September 23rd is our next commission meeting.
Mayor, I did have something. We had a cutoff, internally for the open commission seat. And I spoke with Ashley, we actually had a typo on it, it's supposed to close tomorrow. We actually, I think, what did you say it was supposed to be?
17th, the Wednesday before the following commission meeting.
So we just need a little direction from y'all on, our goal was to keep it open and then bring it back the first week of October to y'all. Yeah.
First meeting in November.
No,
No.
October.
September and October.
Oh, okay.
It'll be the first
We
meeting in
discussed
October.
November today, but.
But we just got it posted on Facebook last week. And so that's not a lot of time that we've had to get it out there other than on news flashes. And I guess if people saw the news, I think one of the stations picked it up. This process is completely ran by y'all, not staff. I say that right now. This is ran by however this commission wants to do it. But we just need a little bit of direction on the timeframes that y'all want to follow. And what I would expect is, if you want to hear it at a particular, like let's say, on the first meeting, which is on Tuesday, we would set the cutoff on the Wednesday night before. That way we'll have all the applications in the packets for y'all to have that we produce. That'll give us Thursday to pull everything together. It'll be in your packets that'll be available on
What was
Friday.
the date of the first October meeting? You know,
The 14th.
the 14th? I mean,
And
if
so,
that's the meeting that we're gonna hear and make the decision, should we do it? You know,
Well, the current cutoff on it was the 10th, tomorrow, right?
which is,
We just got posted. So
Yeah,
keep it up
that's
till the
not-
Wednesday prior to October.
that's not, yeah.
So we wanted
That would
30
be
days.
October
We get
8th.
people a little bit more time.
so we would set the cutoff for October 8th at 5 p.m.
Anybody have an objection to extending?
I was kind of surprised that we just got it on that city Facebook a day ago.
Maybe there
That's not a problem.
Yeah. So I
We'll set it for the 8th. And probably we can discuss at the next meeting. We'll see how many applications we got. I don't even know how many we got right now. That's all in the city clerk's office. But we'll set forth and we can talk about, because once again, staff is not part of this, so we'll need to know how the process for y'all want to
Isn't
do.
it in the charter?
And that's always,
How we do it?
Yeah.
It's spelled out in the charter.
Is it?
Yeah, it's in the charter.
is it a ranking? Is that what it is?
Well, we've done it too.
Yeah.
We
We've done it so many different ways.
It's obviously only 4 people are gonna vote, and it's like if there's a tie, then you draw the score, then you draw lots.
It's in
You
the
try to
charter.
hopefully get some ties.
So we can
You
look
draw.
at that at the next meeting and.
Well, I just know the 2 times we've had this before, it's,
You got there.
one time you didn't have a lot of people, so it was easy to choose between 2 people you just picked. But if you've got, say, 4 or 5, then you gotta figure out how to funnel that down. And,
Like I said, I know it's spelled out.
we'll check the charter and I'll send an email out to y'all what that process is. And then we can be talking
I
about
already know what the process is.
it. Do you, what is it?
Yeah, it's spelled out in the charter.
What is it?
It's spelled out.
It's spelled out in the
I
charter.
mean, I know
So we
that's
just
how I
need
can
to do
read
it
it without a
afterwards.
commission.
Okay.
So
It's appointed by the board then,
Yeah.
if it's a tie, you draw lots. But what we've done in the past, let's say you might have 10 or 11, they would come up here and narrow down to like
because it's
4.
litmus
Right,
test
right.
for
And then you
Snapchat from
vote, and hopefully you don't.
That's what I was talking about, the process for narrowing down.
Yeah.
Because I know there's a
You've done
lot
that
of,
every time.
we had one situation where it was a big uproar over making sure that, and
You got discretion on that, or you don't have to narrow down.
We can talk about that next meeting and get that all laid out.
we'll look at that, so, because I just want to make sure that y'all have a good process in your mind going into it, so we don't get here and have everybody go, oh, sugar. That's what happened in the meeting, and it did not.
Did we decide 8 October is going to be the new cutoff? And, do we want to set a meeting prior to the meeting where we select that, the candidates can introduce themselves?
Well, they can do it at that meeting on the 14th.
Yeah, it's typically not a commission.
Yeah, you guys control that, so you guys can use that meeting on the 14th to
Yeah.
narrow it down and then make a selection on the second page. It's totally up to you
Yeah,
guys.
because if we're gonna narrow down, it'd be nice to hear from them before we go.
Yes, you might want to do that on the 14th, to start to narrow down, and then have the 28th do the actual selection.
I mean, and if we have a bunch and we wanna narrow it down, but we may not have that many.
Yeah, there'll be only be 4 or 5, then you
Yeah,
can do it
we
for
may
14th.
not, we may not have to worry about narrowing down. But yeah, we can do that on the 14th, because we don't have to make a decision. If we decide we need to, we can carry it over to the 28th.
Notification.
If you get a bunch of out there.
So October the 8th will be our date.
I'm not familiar with the Facebook and all the independent websites and everything that are out there. So what I'm personally checked on is our city website. And our city website is very clear of the requirements and understanding of, financial reporting and all this. It has to, it's just not a matter of a citizen deciding that they want to come on board. There are requirements for it, and ethics, et cetera, et cetera. And our city website very well handles all those requirements, at least as out there. So I don't know what's going on with the other ones, but I'd recommend that, everybody look at the city website. And,
Aren't y'all Form 1? Aren't y'all Form 1 on reporting now?
Yes.
Well, Form 1 now, yeah.
Yeah. And anybody that's interested, you better look at that Form 1. Make sure you want to do that.
And look at Form 6, because we never know when it's coming back.
Form 6 is coming back, it's gonna be in the board.
Yeah, yes, we don't know, it may come back.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised.
right now, it's not there. We've all qualified for the Form 6.
Right.
As a matter of fact, they won't let us do any more with Form 6 until
Right
that's
now.
resolved, but Form 1 is required.
For everyone listening, Form 1 and 6 are financial statements
Yeah.
we're required to make. And they're rather lengthy, but I think with me and what I did, I just listed everything.
Form 1's not bad, 6 is there, but you have to tell everything.
Yeah, I did the thing first.
That's one where there was a lot of commissioners across the entire state that
That's
they didn't want their personal information out.
You had one in Parker, or something.
Yeah, there's two.
Two in Parker.
Okay, anything else before we open it up to the public?
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, that's okay.
Further.
Yep, no, that's fine, we got that kind of worked out. Okay, I'll open it up for public participation. Ms. Langston?
Teresa Langston, 6031 Lynn Street. That was gonna be my first question is, was there gonna be a special meeting or was it gonna be done at a commission meeting? But I don't understand why we're going to delay it to October 8th when the first notice went out August 27th. And that was done by text message, when you get the notifications and stuff, just because somebody delayed putting it on a Facebook page. I mean, it's out there, everybody kind of knows, so you're gonna penalize the current applicants because of somebody, whoever is in control of the city Facebook page, of not posting it in time. That's not the applicant's problem or their responsibility. It doesn't seem like we can get anything done quickly with the city because there's always a reason, there's always an excuse, there's always somebody fumbling something. And I don't think that the applicant should be penalized for that. I mean, all 3 applicants come to the meeting tonight probably to find out kind of what was going on. And we do have 3 applicants in the audience, but I don't.
You know more than we do.
Yeah. Karen, Ralph, and Billy.
We don't know that. I have no information.
Nobody has been seeing the applications that have gone through? They just.
We're not involved in that this time.
No, they get, when it comes time to vote for them, when we do the agenda packet, that's typically when
When they're given to the commission. But I don't think that we should delay it to October 8th because it was sent out August 27th. And I mean, I have it on my phone from the notification and it's dated August 27th.
But we wouldn't make the decision until October. We would do it the first meeting in October. So we're not penalizing anybody. The applicants that are in are still the applicants.
Well, right, then, I mean, you're talking about, instead of closing it tomorrow at 5 o'clock, you're going to, you know what I mean, extend it and everything. But, I mean, everybody has been noticed, you know what I mean, it's on the website, it's, you know, people are aware that there is a, you know, vacancy and stuff. So I don't know why.
It's been on the official website, of course, that's the only one I look at. So it's official website has been on there ever since we had that determination, had resignation. Next day it was on the official website.
It has to be posted for 30 days, correct? I mean, yeah, that means.
Well, if that's the case,
It's not
then
encouraged.
the deadline would have been the
It's
10th.
not.
There's not a requirement.
But then I also wanted to, since everybody's talking, I just wanted to go, do we know if there's a problem with citizens' email going to the junk or spam folders of the commissioners? Because I know that people are email and don't get a response back, so they're either going to junk or spam folder and nobody sees them, or just the commissioners are not responding to the citizens when they do email. And I'm not saying all of them, because I know, you know, some, you know, we have one, that I'm aware of that does respond back, because I know I've sent several emails, and he is the only one that replies back. Everybody else, it just seems like, you know, just ignores the email or does whatever. So I just wanted to, you know, bring it up that there could be a problem with people's emails going to junk or spam and then nobody checking them.
Yeah.
Yes, I respond to anybody that I get an email, so I'll have to check into that.
Yeah, I think all of us do.
Yes,
It's just, if you don't see it, you can't respond to it.
Well, now I know for a
Except
fact
in
that's
this
not
case.
true.
In this case, with the candidates, I received an email from one of the candidates,
I did.
Yeah.
and I did not respond because I cannot even, you know, show favoritism one way or the other on that, so I did not respond to that. I respond to all others.
Well, I'm talking about other issues, because I know I sent out an email, and I know that it ended up in junk or spam folder, and I've only had one commissioner that replied back. I didn't get any reply back from you.
No, and I've never seen an email from you.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm using the email, so I know if one got it, then it should go through to the others, so.
I'll check on that. So I know the state's understanding.
I will say, I have seen this.
I just want to say I've responded to every email I've ever gotten.
I can check with,
I'm not going to show
let
favoritism.
me check with IT and see, because they manage our emails, because there was a big flip over a month ago, and all of a sudden I realized I was missing some emails that I only see on a regular basis, and when I went in and checked the junk, now I do it twice a week. I go in and check junk to make sure that we're in there. And some of those were like concerning emails. And I found like 5 concerns that came through and I never missed because it was in my spam. But we've corrected that, but fortunately it wasn't anything horrible stuff that we'd actually already taken care of, so.
I did respond to the candidate that sent me, but it was just thank you for sending, thanks for your service, and thank you for wanting to serve the community. The response. So,
Well, if I recall in that particular email, there was no service to the city of Callaway.
no, service to the country.
Oh,
And,
well,
and he wants to serve the citizens of Callaway.
Did anybody else want to speak? Okay. I'll get you next, sir.
Anna Pelletier, I was just wondering if you had put the ad out for the assistant finance director.
Yes, we've got it listed all over the place. We put it on Florida League of Cities, Florida City and County Managers Association, and it automatically shoots up to the International City Managers Association. We put it on Indeed, and we've been listening everywhere else. So far, I've had one applicant.
Martin Bossler, 6303 Wallace Road. I'm very vocal and come up here and say things that I feel are important. Sometimes it's always negative, so I want to come up here and extend a thank you to the city clerk. And I'm not going to drop any names, but I had a huge drainage issue in my yard. They came out, took care of it, took care of my neighbor. He's 84 years old, and so I was very happy because he said he called, and I'm like, well, I'll email. And so I emailed him. I was very happy with the service that I received. Now I don't have a hole in my front yard. I got some nice dirt in there. So I just want to not always be negative, All right. So now that's out of the way. Here comes some negative stuff. If you want to know that there's a vacant seat right there, you know how I found out there's a vacant seat right there? I sit in my seat right there. That's how. You come to the meetings. Come to the meetings. I get it. Advertise, put it on the website. But if you're not involved in it and then you randomly show up and you're like, why is there an empty seat here? What is going on? If you're the first time here, it's kind of strange. If you have issues with YouTube, I am very good with YouTube. If you want to, I'm bored. I get bored. I'm a YouTube partner, so I have a direct phone number to them. I can ask my manager questions. If you have a reason, you do. If you have a reason, you have a redesign of the steel. I'm an aircraft maintainer, retired aircraft maintainer. I work on F-15s, F-22s, F-35s, and even some little random volunteer time on the T-38. So I can tell you who you can contact to, or the base historians would be a prime person to talk to, because I get it, put the F-35 up there, but like we said, we still have F-16s here. We have small scale drones. I think showing a legacy of what Callaway has been would be a good idea. If there's 3 of them up there, put the 3 that were, two prior. Look at my notes. If we have questions about the Brittany Woods Park and everything, and we have questions about the wildlife, I'm sorry, we have a wildlife expert sitting right here, and I didn't leave her any time to yield my time to, and I don't know if she lives in Callaway, but if we have questions about the alligators and stuff, we have a marine biologist here.
Thank you. Anybody else want to speak? Nobody?
For non-agenda.
Yeah, this is it. You gonna talk about alligators and snakes?
I mean, if you want me to. Snakes are good. Alligators are nice.
We're not hurting you. We're just gonna
I don't like alligators in my backyard either. Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. My name is Jessica Graham. I'm the Executive Director of the St. Andrew and St. Joseph Bays Estuary Program. I wanted to come tonight to provide some corrections to some of the statements that were made during your September 4th budget hearing. I first want to say I understand your decisions when it comes to city funds. I'm not here to question those decisions or to try to influence those decisions. But there were a number of incorrect statements made that I felt needed to come and correct. The first item is the population of Callaway. It was stated that I was using 20,000 as that. That's incorrect. The population that's being used for Callaway and all other jurisdictions comes from the 2020 census numbers. So the population being used for Callaway is 14,405. That puts you into a tier of $20,000 based on the tiers that the policy board approved. The second item was that Bay County's population included that of the municipalities, so that's incorrect. Bay County's population being used is 75,687, which is the population of Bay County according to the 2020 census minus the populations of all cities, and leaving only the unincorporated portion. There was also a statement made that I confirmed that Bay County included the municipalities, which is not true. There was an initial discussion regarding these numbers in December of 2023 that was quickly corrected in February of 2024 and approved by the board with the current numbers in April of 2024. The third statement that was made is that the city never does this type of thing. I understand that there should be careful decisions being made for first effort or 100th effort because it is community and citizen taxpayer dollars. I do want to draw a correlation to the estuary program and the TPO. Our board often talks of the estuary program being the TPO for the water. And they even instructed me to use the TPO as a model for discussing these allocations. The City of Callaway is an active participant and contributor to the TPO, which is a board of locally elected officials that work together to make decisions on the transportation needs across the region. The estuary program is a board of locally elected officials working together to make decisions on the needs for our natural resources by addressing issues such as stormwater and flooding, wastewater, sedimentation, habitat loss, and other issues. Therefore, a request from the estuary program is similar to that of the TPO. The last statement made was that there were questions that had been asked to me and were awaiting decisions and answers. I have never received any questions or requests for information. I take my job very seriously. If there were requests for information or questions asked, I would answer those in a timely manner. So I wanted to make sure I came tonight to be able to offer that information to you directly. Okay. And I'm all done. Again, I just want to reiterate, I understand the decision. That's not why I came tonight, but rather to ensure that you had all of the facts for any future conversations that we may have. I have sent everyone an email with all of this information, as well as supporting documents and links to even more documents. I absolutely respect the job that you all do and the insight that you have into what is best for your city, and I look forward to working with you more closely in the future. Thank you very much.
Since we have Dr. Graham here, does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, when did you send that email?
Today.
Thanks, yeah.
You're standing there, jump over. It could be there.
You've got the opportunity. I don't have any more questions. Well, thank you for coming and clarifying those issues. Did anybody else want to speak? Mr. Shanger?
Ron Shanger, 5711 Taylor Circle. I guess I'm a little disappointed that you want to extend the deadline for signing up for the banking commissioner seat. I'd like to see that seat filled as soon as possible. I don't like to see an even vote, a tie vote. But, I thought, tomorrow evening was, fine, but I don't like seeing it extended. I mean, plenty of people know about it if they're interested. And, like I say, I think it's important that seat be filled as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shanger. Anyone else? I don't see anybody in line for anyone. Don't think so. So, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We will adjourn. Thank you for coming. Have a good evening.